Hello ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls and anything in between and outside of those brackets. Welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League for our Wednesday GT3 challenge. This is two 25-minute races, 10-week season, and the guys get to choose two GT3 cars and they can use either one of them in any of the races, I believe. So if you're going to watch this on a regular basis, you might be wondering why one driver is in one car one week and he's in another car another week. It's because he's got a choice of two. So that's about it as far as rules goes, really. They are sprint races, and it's just a case of get around the track as quickly as we can. This is round 3. We are at Dragon Trail Seaside Reverse, 3.2 miles and 17 turns. It's a fictional track set in Croatia. Croatia. I've said it too many times now. It's getting weird. A bit like that Miranda thing. Never mind. I'm off and running. Let's get back on track where we should be. As I've said, this is round 3. This is race 1. Everybody is going to be on medium tyres, and they've been out there and done 10 minutes of qualifying and got themselves placed on the grid. So let's have a look. Let's get our usual camera up. Wow, that's a nice looking livery, isn't it, from Viking. So Viking has got himself on pole, obviously a track he likes. Grasshopper in second, just behind him. Unforgiven in third. Neil Farmack is fourth. Osman is fifth. Now, Osman took part in round 1, got 2 wins out of 2, and then he missed round 2. So he's going to be looking to continue his 100% winning streak for the rounds that he's took part in, but he's 5th on the grid at the minute. Wadru is 6th, Stormfly is 7th. Very much a man in form at the minute is Stormfly, especially if you've watched his lap time challenge. So Stormfly one to watch. Derg in 8th in the police car, the Popo we've named him now. Willard in 9th, Nathy's 10th, Scooby 11th. Method is 12th, Rufus 13th, and Brian Moncani in 14th in a very colourful Mercedes as well. Not like Brian to be that far down the grid, so whether it's a track he doesn't like or maybe the others are just a lot quicker, we shall see. So we'll get this race underway, shall we? As I say, it is the first, it's a grid start as well. I always thought it was rolling starts whenever Unforgiven's in the race, but it's a good start, so away they go, and Grasshopper gets a much better start than Viking. Viking just completely bogged down in that Supra, and he's now down to, well, he's back up to 5th, but great start from Grasshopper and Osman. Neil Farmack moves up into 3rd, Unforgiven in 4th, with Viking all the way down in 5th. I'm not quite sure what happened, but he just completely bogged down at the start there. So Grasshopper will take us into the death chicane, or it's a little bit easier this way round. So I've renamed it now the slightly injured chicane, or the slight injury chicane. Up towards turn 6, I've named the boatyard because this is where, well, if you look over the fence, you can just see all the private yachts, and they do belong to the drivers. So that's called the boatyard. Then it's up through turns 7. Then we're on to the roller coaster section, this downhill section of turns 8, 9, 10 and turn 11 at the bottom of the hill. It is still Grasshopper leading Neil Farmack, with Stormfly now moving up into 3rd. Viking has made his way back up into 4th in the Supra. Very quick in a straight line is the Supra, but a bit of a handful through the corners. Fantastic livery though, definitely points for that. Willard is now in 5th, with Wadro in 6th, Derg in 7th. Then we've got Unforgiven, Nath, Method in 10th. Brian made his way up into 11th, started at 14th, remember, so I made a few places up. Rufus down in 12th, with Scooby in 13th, so nothing separating them all at the minute. It is all very bunched up as Scooby and Rufus decide to have a bit of a battle there, and Scooby trying to blind everybody with that metallic red Super of his, but it is still Rufus and Scooby battling away at the back. Scooby getting right up underneath Rufus's rear wing as they come down towards turn 1 at the big one. This big left-hander, and Scooby gets the job done, but Rufus is going to fight back. We are going to have a look. No, Willard's at the back. What happened to him? Willard, he was in 5th, so what happened? into the big one. Oh, he's had a bit of a touch there with Viking, and well, that completely put him off there. I'm not quite sure what happened. It didn't look like that big a bump really, but poor old Willard has ended up at the back of the grid, and a bit of a gap opened up between himself and Rufus. So back up to the top then, and Grasshopper in the I think it's the NSX. Yes, going very, very deep into the boatyard at turn 6. That's allowed Neil Farmack to get through. Neil Farmack in the Subaru, is it? The Subaru BRZ, I believe, as Grasshopper fights back. So the NSX really has got some poke to it, hasn't it? Unless Neil Farmack just took his foot off the gas, I'm not sure, but Grasshopper retakes the lead. Neil Farmack just behind him. Stormfly now up to third, as I said earlier, very much the man in form in that McLaren, so the other two better watch out. Stormfly definitely on a charge. Everybody on the medium tyres, as I've said, and it's a 25-minute race. We are not even into 4 minutes yet, and Stormfly has already made his way up from 7th up to 3rd, and he's putting the pressure on Neil Farmack. In fact, let's jump on board, shall we, with Stormfly as he gets right up underneath that Subaru. Look at the, is that the slipstream or just the power of that McLaren? But Stormfly just breezes past Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack could do absolutely nothing about that. And Stormfly now closing in very quickly on Grasshopper. So into turn 1 he goes. Power down very early. He's just got to try and catch up to the back of that NSX. So we'll stay with Stormfly at the minute as we go into the injury chicane. Let's see if it's full power. Oh, there's a bit of a lift there as Grasshopper gives a little bit of a side swipe to Barrier. But these three all through there very successfully into turn 6 at the boatyard. This is where Grasshopper went very deep last time, but he's got it right this time round. So Stormfly just about keeping up with the NSX. Got a little look further down and see what's happening. Woodrew in 4th at the minute. He's got the Popo chasing him down in the form of Derg. Derg in the, is it the BMW? I couldn't quite see then. I think it is. Yes, it is. So Derg in the BMW police car chasing Woodrew and trying to get that P4 away from him. Woodrew in the Porsche. Unforgiven also in a BMW in 6. He's got Brian Moncani. What a fantastic start Brian Moncani's had in the AMG. He started in 14th, now up to 7th, and looking very colourful as well is Brian Moncani. So he's having a great start to this race. Scooby in 8th. Remember, he was battling in the early couple of laps with Rufus right at the back, but Scooby has now made his way up into 8th. So whether we've missed something. 9th is Method in another NSX. Willard 10th after his coming off at the turn 1. I think it was on lap 2, wasn't it? So he's made his way up into 10th. Then we've got Nathan 11th and Rufus down in 12th. I can only guess that Rufus has made a mistake somewhere within the last 1 or 2 laps, and we've missed that, so apologies for that. But Rufus now down in 12th. We're back up to the... Oh, we keep missing these overtakes, don't we? In fact, let's go back and have a look, see if we can find it, shall we? I'm fed up of missing overtakes. So Stormfly's made his way up into 2nd. We saw that. He just breezed past Neil Farmack on the straight across the start-finish line. So down towards turn 1, is this where he made his move? It looks like it is. As they go into turn 1, Stormfly taking the tighter line on the inside and getting that move done. Grasshopper does try to fight back, but just can't do it. He's just had to sit in behind Stormfly, and he's now going to have to follow him through the chicane. Grasshopper not going to make a move there, surely no, backs out. So good racing between these two, and we did say, didn't we, at the very beginning, Stormfly, although he started in 7th, definitely the man in form at the minute. Definitely getting his foot down. Now then, let's have a look. Neil Farmack in 3rd. Woodrew, I think we've lost one already, have we? Yes, because Osman was 5th on the grid, and he's already retired. So In fact, we've got 2 retirements. Looking at, we had, I shall try and work it out. We had 14 on the grid, so let's try and work out who's missing. I know Osman is definitely missing. Let's have a look. See if we can find out. Viking, I think Viking is missing as well. So Viking started on pole, had a disastrous start. He was down to about 5th or 6th at turn 1 was Viking, and it looks like both Viking and Osman have both retired from this race. So whether they had to come in together or not, they've gone off for a bit of fisticuffs in the pit lane. We shall wait to find out. But in the meantime, Stormfly has got himself in front and he's trying to open up a gap back to Grasshopper. Grasshopper in second, who's being chased down by Neil Farmack in the Subaru. I'm not so sure that Subaru has got the pace to keep up with the 2 guys in front of him. I've not driven it myself, but I do understand it's a bit tricky, especially coming out the turns. You can see the back end of it, just trying to have a bit of a moan at Neil then, but Neil slapped it back into line. But a bit of a tricky car to drive by all accounts. But Neil Farmack doing okay at the minute and sitting in 3rd. He has got Wadru, no stranger to being up at the front, as Wadru, previous championship winner in the Porsche. So Wadru chasing Neil Farmack down in 3rd. We've got the Popo in 5th. He's just sticking to the back of Wadru at the minute. A long way to go in this race. We are just approaching 8 minutes, so what's that, 17 minutes left. So a lot of racing to be had. Brian Moncani up into 6th. Great racing he's having at the minute in that Mercedes. So he's managed to get past Unforgiven. Unforgiven sitting there in 7th. In fact, let's jump on board, shall we, with Unforgiven. As we go around turn 12, then into 13, and if you know this course very well, you will know that this is the first of the chicanes if you go in the correct way around. But for now, it is turns 15 and 16, and then through a slight kink in the road of turn 17, and then we're back onto the start-finish straight. 653 metres from the exit of turn 17 all the way down to the entry of turn 1. Quick look behind, and there's nobody there. There's quite a big gap, so Unforgiven can fully concentrate on trying to get that P6 back from Brian Moncani. We'll get out and we will leave Unforgiven alone for a minute. Scooby down in 8th, very lonely for him at present. He's doing his absolute best to catch up to Unforgiven, and Brian Moncani just up ahead, with Method now down in 9th in the NSX. Method, the only American driver on the grid. He's been chased by Willard. So 2 BMWs. Oh, no, it's not. No, Method's in an NSX. What am I on about? Willard's in the BMW. So Willard just trying to get back onto the back of Method, trying to put him under a bit of pressure. Let's have a look what Rufus is doing down in 11th. Well, it's a very lonely race for him, isn't it? Nobody in front, nobody behind. Concentrate on getting some decent lap times in, can Rufus. Get himself prepared for race 2, and same goes for Nath down in P12 at the minute. Well, quite a big gap actually, so I think he's going to stay there unless any of the drivers up ahead have any incidents, because that's quite a gap to make up, despite the fact that we have got about 15 minutes of this race to go, just under. Fastest lap so far then is Brian Moncani, a 141.1. So Brian Moncani down in 6th, but he's having a great race. Stormfly though, leading. Grasshopper still in 2nd, Neil Farmack in 3rd, Wadru in 4th. Wadru does look like he's closing that gap very, very slightly to Neil Farmack just up ahead. And it looks like Neil Farmack is putting a challenge in on Grasshopper. Let's just jump on board with Neil Farmack. Wow, he's having a good look in the boot of that car, isn't he? My phone's decided to go off. I'm going to leave it. As Neil Farmack, we go through the roller coaster section, the constant left, right, down the bottom of the hill through turn 11. Then into turn 12, this very tight left-hander, taking as much curb as you possibly can, letting the car roll out, then it's back on the power again. A strange looking dial on that Subaru in front of us. And we're just looking in the mirror as well, which is just slightly to the left on the dash there, and we can make out Wadru trying to crawl all over the back of Neil Farmack's car. Neil Farmack will sit in the slipstream of Grasshopper. I don't think it's quite got the beans to catch up to the back of the NSX, but it will get a bit of a tow into the big one at turn 1. We go. Wadru right up there now and really pushing Neil Farmack. He is tucked right underneath him as they head towards the chicane. Now then, is Wadru going to back out? He's going to have to, isn't he? You can't really go too wide there. So Wadru just sits in behind Neil Farmack again for the next few turns. Derg in 5th. He's got Brian Moncani chasing him down. Brian Moncani having well, I would say the best race so far. Started right at the back at 14th. He's now up into 6th. So good racing from Brian Moncani at the minute, and he's starting to apply the pressure to Derg just ahead of him. So we will try and keep an eye on that one, because I've got a feeling that things are going to change. Oh, and they already have. Wadru has managed to get by Neil Farmack. So Wadru now moves up onto the 3rd step of the podium. Neil Farmack drops down to 4th, with Derg now looking to take that position away from him as well. So Derg sitting in 5th at the minute in the BMW. Oh, Brian Moncani getting all sorts of squirrely then, but has he held on to it? Yes, he has, just about. Taking a little bit of grass with him there along the way, but I thought he was going to lose it. Deep breaths, Brian. You're having a great race so far. Don't mess it up now. So back up to where we were following Derg. In fact, there's something I mean to do actually. Let's have a look at Derg's car, because he's got a what do they call it, that sun visor thing. What's that say? Derg View 86. Oh yeah, nice little visor he's got there, the sun strip, whatever you call it. In fact, it's a nice looking car, isn't it? It's some good livery on that car. So Derg in 5th then, and he's putting Neil Farmack under a lot of pressure as they go into that chicane. Oh, I think it was all 3 of them actually scraped along the barrier. And look at Brian Moncani. Brian Moncani really applying the pressure as they go into turn 6 at the boatyard. Derg trying his best to get by Neil Farmack, but Brian Moncani is all over that BMW. Unforgiven has decided to join in this little party as well. In fact, let's jump on board with Unforgiven. We can get a better view of what's happening. A quick look behind, and there's nobody there, so we're okay. We can concentrate on what's going up ahead. Unforgiven just having to back out of it a little bit. There's just no room for him to get by. Brian Moncani desperately looking for... Oh, Derg's gone! He's gone! Oh, come on, sort yourself out, Mark. Let's get back onto Derg. There we go. This is what we want to see. As we go through the roller coaster section, Derg desperate to put the pressure on Neil Farmack. Now then, did he get a wheel on the grass? Yes, he got 2 wheels on the grass, and that's... Oh, and there we go. Big kiss with Barry R for Derg. How unlucky was that? He was having a great race as well. Oh, deep breaths, Derg. Deep breaths, mate. So Neil Farmack, he'll be breathing a sigh of relief just for a few minutes, because Brian Moncani's coming after him now. So Neil Farmack was being harassed by Derg until Derg decided that he'd had enough and ran across the grass and into the barrier. So now it is Brian Moncani that takes up the challenge to get P4 away from Neil Farmack. Back up at the top, let's have a look, see how Stormfly's doing. Looking comfortable actually. just see if we can get a gauge of the gap. Well, there we go, Grasshopper just coming round. So he's not that far away, is he, Stormfly? But there is a very slight gap there. Grasshopper in second. He's got Wadru all over him in the Porsche as they go into the chicane then for the 10th time. We are just approaching 16 minutes, so 9 minutes of this race left. Up to Boatyard Corner at turn 6, and Wadru having a look up the inside, taking the tighter line. Oh, what a great move that was from Wadru. Early on the brakes to take that tighter line, and just caught Grasshopper out. So Wadru now moves up into P2 with Grasshopper dropping down into 3rd. Neil Farmack still sitting in 4th. Brian Moncani in 5th. Unforgiven in 6th. Then we've got Scooby in 7th. It's all been a bit lonesome for him. Berg, after his incident with the barrier, well, just around about this section as well, so he'll still have that in his mind as he. I thought he was going to do the same thing again then, but no, managed to keep it on the tarmac this time around. Willard in 9th. The guys at the back spread out a little bit now. Method in 10th. He can just about see Willard, so it'll give him something to go at. So Method doing okay at the minute in 10th. Nice steady laps around about the 143s. So some good lap times for him. Then we've got Nath. Well, he's clocked in a few 142, so Nath has definitely got some pace about him. Maybe he's just struggling with a few little mistakes that's keeping him down there in 11th. He's obviously had an off somewhere along the lines, otherwise he wouldn't be so far back. And then Rufus weren't really not enjoying this first race here at Dragon. I thought this was a track he liked as well, but maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. And you can see he's got his channel written all over the car. So that's at Ruthless Rufus, if you want to go and check him out on YouTube. Rufus does cover, well, he covers quite a few races actually, does the commentating for them. So if you want to have a look at some of the other races that Ultimate Racing League does, then go and check out Rufus. Definitely does the League 1. We've got one more race to come from him actually, from League 1, from our Sunday Championship. So we're sort of waiting for him to do that. That might be later today. So yeah, go and check him out. Back up to the top then. In the McLaren, it is the Flying Dutchman himself, Stormfly, and it does look like that gap has opened up between himself and Grasshopper, but then again Grasshopper is defending against Wadru. Wadru, I think he did overtake him a minute ago, didn't he? So Wadru, I'm sure, was up to P2, but Grasshopper's got that place back again. So whether Wadru has made a slight mistake, oh, sorry about that, I just needed a quick swig of water. It's boiling in here in this little office of mine. Wadru then trying to get himself on the inside of Grasshopper again as we go into turn 1. Grasshopper not really defending that corner, is he? I think he knew that Wadru was going to go for it, but Grasshopper tries to get a better exit and pulls alongside Wadru. So it is now side by side as they head towards the chicane. Who's going to back out? And it looks like Wadru is just going to ease off and let Grasshopper through. A wise decision. You do not want to be going too wide in there. Oh, what a fantastic move from Wadru in the chicane. I'm going to definitely go back and have a look at that. They are now side by side, as you can see. We're going into this little tunnel section which takes us towards the chicane. You can just see Wadru allowing Grasshopper in. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Grasshopper, oh, he sideswiped the wall, and that opportunity just opened up for Wadru. Now then, I'll be surprised if Wadru doesn't get a penalty for that. Oh, there we go. He did cut quite a chunk, but I think this game is so messed up. Wadru actually cut that chicane because he wanted to avoid the contact with Grasshopper. So I really feel for Wadru there. That's not right. He's got that penalty, but if he'd have stayed on track, he would have actually T-boned Grasshopper, and that would have been both races completely ruined. So I think Grasshopper needs to do the decent thing and just back off and let Wadru have P2 again, but that's just my opinion. We shall see what happens, shall we? Grasshopper may just do that. He may just do the decent thing there. But then again, he has got Neil Farmack and he has got Unforgiven right up his jacksy. So It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because poor old Wadru could lose a few places now if he when he serves this penalty. Not if, he's definitely going to serve it. So Wadru serves his penalty. Now then, is Grasshopper going to go and make his move? He has. So Grasshopper has actually retaken P2. Neil Farmack right up the rear derriere of Wadru. Wadru just about clinging on to P3 as we take the first corner, and he manages to hold on to P3, but Neil Farmack is all over him. Unforgiven is in there as well. What a fantastic four-way battle we've got going on here. I'm going to stay with these guys just for a minute. Shall see what's happening further down the grid a little bit later. I just want to stay with these guys because this is turning out to be a right fight. Now, as I say, Grasshopper, I don't know, I think he needs to just back off and let Wadru have P2 back again. Just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. Wadru cut the corner to avoid the incident on the previous lap, coming out of the chicane, and in doing so picked up half-second penalty, which has allowed Grasshopper back through into P2. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. As it stands for now, Stormfly out in front, and well, he's a lot further up the road, and we're not even going to worry about what he's doing. Grasshopper, in the meantime, is defending for all he's worth against Wadru. Wadru, I'm sure, is going to be even more determined to get that P2 back again. Neil Farmack, he's not given up hope of getting on the podium. Neither has Unforgiven in 5th. Just sitting behind these guys. He just cannot find a way through, can he, Unforgiven? Maybe he's just waiting. He's just going to time it for maybe the last lap. Looking very beaten up, actually, that BMW at the front left. So Unforgiven's had a bit of a touch with Barriera as well at some point. Everybody getting a tow from Grasshopper just in front, so no real advantage for any of them. Grasshopper just looks like he's opened up maybe 1 or 2 car lengths gap back to Wadru, but I'm sure that will soon be closed up as we head towards the chicane. The chicane of a slight injury, we're calling it. Nobody really had a big smash at the chicane, have they? Maybe they're saving it all for race 2. Fantastic scenery of the mountains in the background there, and some big cranes as well. So Grasshopper still just holding on to P2. Let's have a look and see what's happening elsewhere then. Derg is he's now made his way back up into 6th after he came off earlier. Looks like he's going a bit slowly there. Maybe he's just taking his time. He's just trying to tease that car around the corner. Scooby in 7th is getting very, very close to Derg. Yeah, he's actually gone by him, so not quite sure what that's all about, but Derg was definitely going slowly around turn 6. Maybe the two of them had a bit of a bump and Derg was just waiting to give the place back to Scooby. But Derg in 7th, Willard in 8th. He is getting ever closer, or was, until he decided to go and test the grass out. That would have cost him a little bit, and the gap would have opened back up again between himself and Derg. Method in 9th. Nice looking car though. Nice looking car. Nathan 10th. Rufus 11th. And Brian Moncani. What's happened to Brian Moncani? He's come into the pits. He's come out on wet tyres. I mean, what is that all about? Brian Moncani, I was saying, he was having probably the best race of all. He started at the back at 14th, made his way up to about 5th, I think, at one point. He's just gone into the pits, come back out, and he's put full wet tyres on. Maybe he knows something we don't, but there's only a minute and a half to go. Why has Brian Moncani put wet tyres on? Can somebody please explain to me what is going on? That has dropped him down to 12th, and he is really going to struggle to get that car back without hitting the barrier or the grass or something. How strange. Stormfly out in front though, and looking very, very comfortable. Soon to be race 1 winner, I am absolutely sure of it. Needs to remove them Dubby stickers though. Not quite sure I want them on there. Our main sponsor is Eldridge Air Conditioning, EAC. Remember that name if it's and we are in for a heat wave as well, so you better get yourself in contact with Eldridge Air Conditioning and get a unit fitted. I think I need one in here. You think he'll do me some sort of special rates? I don't know. It is boiling in here. So we are now into the final lap as Stormfly comes and down towards the line to take the win, and a well-deserved win as well. Fantastic racing from Stormfly. Grasshopper, it looks like he's going to hold on to P2. Wadru takes third, Unforgiven fourth, Neil Farmack in fifth. Well, bit of controversy there between Grasshopper and Wadru. You all know what my opinion is, then let me know what yours is. Personally, I think Grasshopper should have given the place back, but as I say, that is just my opinion for what it is worth. So Scooby crosses the line in sixth, then we've got Derg in seventh, Willard in eighth, Method is going to cross the line in ninth, Nath will come home in 10th, with Rufus already crossed the line in 11th, it's the 12th then, and then, well, how strange does it get? Brian Moncani in 12th on full wet tyres. So that was race one. Please join me in a few minutes for race two, and let's see if Brian can manage to put the right tyres on for that race. And I do not know what I'm doing. I'm pressing all sorts of buttons. Yeah, I'll catch you all soon.